China ousts the Communist Party chief, Bo Xilai. What does that mean for the stability of that country? We've got Jonathan Pollack from Brookings in Washington joining us now. Jonathan, is this a sign that all is not well in China at the top?
That would be a modest understatement. This has been a case that has swirled around for some period of time. Each month has brought new allegations. Many, frankly, were ones that many Chinese were skeptical about, but the evidence mounts of an extraordinary incident or series of incidents that the top leadership, now, frankly, has decided to some extent to come clean on and to act in ways that that they don't ordinarily act.
I'm interested. This is not my area of expertise, but I did speak to some top officials from Asia, and I asked them about Bo Xilai, and they said, China is just not ready for this politician, and this, he comes from a region that is doing very well economically. There's a lot of growth in that area he represents, but they're not ready for a politician to come out and in sort of a democratic way. But is this something more? Are we really seeing flaws in this man's character, mistakes made on his part, or is this the Chinese government trying to silence someone who they're not ready for?
And to add into that, Mr. Pollack, are we actually seeing flaws in the system start to crack in China?
No, actually, I think from what we can see, the rest of the leadership is probably standing together on this. I mean, this was a very dramatic case. Bo Xilai was cravenly ambitious in all kinds of ways, had his fingers in lots of pies, but in a way, his open promotionalism to try to get to the top of the system and to get an appointment on the standing committee of the Pollack Bureau at the next party Congress. I don't want to say that it backfired. It's merely that there were lots of other incriminating evidence of things that he or his wife or his son were involved with, including now explicitly a charge of murder against a British businessman. So this really unraveled in all kinds of ways. But my sense is that the leaders at the top, if anything, have been deeply sobered by this. I mean, corruption, of course, is nothing new in China. That's widespread. This is something qualitatively different, and it was clearly a case of somebody who was trying to operate above the law. Not to say that the law is a perfect quality in China, but nobody quite knew how to deal with someone who seemed so much out of the mold of the ordinary Chinese politician, not grim and gray and circumspect, but somebody who openly was lobbying for his cause, lobbying for his promotion, and arguing for a kind of an alternative approach to policy from his base in Chongqing, which is, after all, China's largest city.
What does this mean for relations between the U.S. and China? Clearly, this is a Communist Party chief, an important person within China's Politburo. Does that make any difference with how Washington deals with Beijing?
I think it could. The Chinese right now are in the midst of their own selection process. I don't want to call it, we'll call it an election process of a kind, culminating with the appointment of a new standing committee of the Politburo at the Party Congress sometime this fall. So if Bo represented kind of a nail sticking out and then some, his removal and his disgrace probably will clarify some of the alignments among different coalitions within the Chinese leadership. It, if anything, reinforces the commitment that some seem to have to sustain a reform process and to deal much more explicitly with overt challenges to the authority at the top. That said, I think how the Chinese handle this case, how much is disclosed, what the formal allegations would be, if this is hidden from view, if it is not sustained in an open and public manner, it's going to diminish the possibilities for the new leadership to prove successful and supported, and it's going to limit their possibilities for dealing credibly with the outside world. But so the stakes are very, very high, but I must say that the fact that this is out in the open now, that a lot of dirty linen is being aired in public in ways that is not characteristic of the Chinese
obviously
system,
high stakes
suggests to me at least that other leaders recognize the gravity of the charges, the urgency of the situation, and they seem clearly in
Okay, we got to go there. Sorry, that's Jonathan Pollack of the Brookings Institution. We had to leave that there. But more on the ouster of Communist Party chief Bo Xilai. A fascinating story, David, and more on that WSJ.com and in tomorrow's paper.